Diversity at the top of the British political establishment continues to increase. Challenges against British culture and Christian values are being ignored by the political class. And in this live stream, we're going to get your reaction on the issue of diversity being our strength. Good evening, Britannia, and hello to the rest of the world. Welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. Yet another live update on British politics today. It's been a very, very British orientated today. Everything is about basically UK establishment. Good news and bad news. Good news, it's our anniversary, Danielle and I. So we've left London. We've come to some sort of spa weekend thing tonight. So that's the good news. Bad news is Christian values are being completely ignored and undermined as we have different ideologies, specifically when it comes to Islam, increasing in the Houses of Parliament, which is supposed to be the Palace of Westminster, supposed to be the home that defends Christian values, considering that it's directly connected to the Constitution, which is based on Church of England, whether you like it or not. But obviously, when we have the king, who's supposed to be the protector and the head of church, not really caring about any of this and bringing Ramadan and Iftar to Windsor Castle, it's not really a surprise of what's going on. Now, people say, well, it's just diversity, it's just a product of what's happening across society. Yeah, sure. It's already happening anyway. Having said that, we have to talk about our establishments being protected from ideologies that go against Christian values, because the whole of the system, the structure, is based on Christian values. Again, whether you like it or not. So in this live stream, we're going to give you guys the latest stats and data that we have in regards to the rise of Islamic MPs in the House of Commons, and obviously the challenges that comes with it, because some people will be happy about it. Some people on the political left would say that's nice, that's actually very good. Well, the liberal side will probably say it's okay. The liberal side will probably say it's, why not? It's tolerance, niceness, right? Yes, they always expect tolerance from the Christian side. It's not really a two-way street, is it? That's what the liberals would say. People on the political left and the socialists would probably say, yes, it's about time that we actually go against everything that created the Western civilization from the Roman Empire onwards, which means Christian values and our constitution and the way of life. The liberals believe that the Islamic ideology is similar to the Christian side. Obviously, that's not true. The socialist side want destruction. Now, let's talk about what we know so far. This is the latest data we have. Before 1997, there were 0 Islamic MPs in the UK Parliament, as you can see. By the 2019 general election, this increased by 39% to 25 MPs. Now, the rapid increase is the issue, the trend is the issue, because it's getting to a point where eventually it's no longer going to be representative of the population. Now, over the next few general elections, which will be in the next 15 to 20 years, if this increase obviously continues, then you have a situation where the actual population, the Islamic population, would be increasing anyway because of massive birth rate and because of open borders. Having said that, the number of MPs will not be actually proportionate. So you might actually have a situation where you have more Islamic MPs as a percentage in Parliament compared to the actual population. Now, that's another technical issue to deal with, but you also have to talk about the fact that, well, yes, we can say this is a natural course of events because of mass migration anyway, and there's a lot of massive birth rate in Islamic areas. What do? You have to protect the Constitution. You have to protect the Christian values. When you have the Houses of Parliament every morning on Mondays at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., when they do their prayers, there is a reason for that, because the Constitution is connected to the Bible, whether you like it or not. The values are there. Even if you're not practicing Christian, the values are there, and the cultural values must be protected. Otherwise, the Constitution will change. Because obviously, if you have a different ideology, it's not really just about pubs closing down, being banned, for example, beer or bacon. That's not even the biggest issue. I mean, that also matters because of the way of life for people in this country. But the Constitution will change. Legally and democratically. unless you create safeguarding. Now, let's go to the next section. This is the Islamic MPs by political parties. You can see it's definitely not proportionate. 72% of all Islamic MPs are from the Labour Party. Obviously, the Labour Party are pushing the Muslim vote. Zara Sultana is now an independent MP. She was actually elected as a Labour MP. So at the time of the 2024 general election, 76% of Muslim MPs came from the Labour Party. So again, 72%, obviously at the time 76, now 72, from one party. That is also not proportionate. For those liberals who care about representation, it is not actually representative. That's another problem that we have to talk about when it comes to political parties in general. Let's go to the next section. This is quite interesting because this is the total number of Islamic MPs currently, historically in the UK Parliament, right? Now, throughout time, over the last couple of decades, there have been 35 Islamic MPs since 1997. 10 have since lost their seats or resigned. They're highlighted, you can see in the red sections on this table. On the list, you can see the backgrounds as well, which we're going to have to discuss because it's also important to say this is not proportionate. The liberals who care about representation, it's not proportionate. Look at this, for example. Let's look at the breakdown of the Islamic MPs by country of descent, actual background, heritage, identity, and ethnicity. They're all obviously third world countries. That's the first thing to tell. 64% from Pakistan, 12% from Bangladesh, 8% from India, 1% from Iraq, 1% from Yemen, and 1% like a combination of African and Caribbean. So, and obviously they're different as well, but you have to put in the 1%. And 1% Turkish. So, you can see that there is also a huge community who are Islamic, but from other countries, they're also not being represented, right? So if we go with the liberal mentality of representation, this is not proportionate. Firstly, every single country on that list basically is culturally third world, and most of them are economically third world. Not Turkey, but still culturally the Islamic side. There's a lot of regressive views on women, women's rights, children, child marriage, incest, gay rights, many things. Or your freedom to choose if you want to eat bacon or drink beer, many things. These are just your everyday issues. Now, primarily comes from those countries. If you have a rich middle class Arab from Saudi Arabia or UAE, they tend not to care too much. They tend not to want to close down the pubs. They tend not to want to ban bacon, for example. These are just simple things. But again, there are big issues to play. Lucy White, the political consultant, actually posted this. The list, 1/3 of the Islamic MPs were not even born in the UK. That is also a huge problem. 8 out of 25 of them. That's 1/3. Afzal Khan, born in Pakistan. Ayub Khan, born in Pakistan. Mohammed Yassin, born in Pakistan. Nusrat Ghani, born in Pakistan. Yasmin Qureshi, Pakistan. Roshana Ra Ali, Bangladesh. That's one. Abtisam Mohammed, Yemen, of course. And Shokat Adam, Malawi. But it continues because many of them also on this list, as Lucy White also says, have anti-British and anti-Christian motives against the constitution. Iqbal Muhammad supports first cousin marriages. Tahir Ali wants blasphemy laws for Islam in the UK. Afzal Khan promotes charity tied to, oh yes, hummus. Or Hamas, obviously. Shokat Adam advocates for guards and refugees in the UK. And Naz Shah, obviously, corrupt sectarian voting bloc in Bradford. You guys all know this if you're in Britain. Shabana Mahmood, two-tier justice for ethnic groups. Absama Begum told Starmer that he ignored the Islamic voters. Zara Sultana speaks on Palestinian issue more than Coventry. Adnan Hussein elected as a pro-Palestine candidate directly. Now, recent Muslim infiltration in Parliament has been sponsored by the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister. As Lucy White says, Parliament hosted the first ever iftar ceremony during Ramadan on the 4th of March 2025, led by the Prime Minister himself, Keir Starmer. Anti-Muslim hatred and Islamophobia working group has been created by the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner. Now you wonder why we have these issues, because the people who are supposed to be the protectors of the Constitution and Christian values, not only they don't care, they're actually working against it as well. In the name of tolerance, in the name of being nice, without knowing exactly what the consequences will be. This isn't really about randomly going around hating anybody who happens to be brown or Islamic. This is about the ideology. Ideas are different to Christian civilization, whether you like it or not. If you're going to have diversity, if you're forcing diversity down our throats, you must protect the Constitution, you must protect the institutions. That's the first thing you do. Now, forget about the fact that we have to go around and actually find out what's going on in the country. Mass deportations are needed when it comes to illegal migrants, when it comes to foreign criminals. That's the given. But if you're going to have people being born here now, massive birth rate, you have to have safeguarding for the laws, for the Constitution, whether you like it or not. Otherwise, this country will no longer be the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Let's get some reaction from you guys while you are here. Thank you, Ivan, for your super chat. Again, apologies for the poor video quality and audio quality, because obviously as I said, Danielle and I, it's our anniversary, so we've left the capital and we're kind of somewhere nice, let's just say, for a spa. Ivan says, are you getting your nails done, Maya? Well, apparently I need to, according to my fiance, but not like that. More like basic grooming. Because I don't do it, apparently. Matthew says, start going to church again, folks. Exactly. You got 2 days to go, guys. Sunday's coming. Also, no one's going to force you. So that's the beauty of Christianity. You don't have to force people to do it. You know, it's just a nice suggestion. You can be an atheist if you want to. Ivan says that there should be no place for Islam in our politics. Definitely not in the political institutions, because even if you just say, objectively, let's just say, hypothetically, Islam is better than Christianity, just for the sake of it, right? This country is based on Christianity. Maybe it's bad, right? Maybe it's bad. Christianity is bad, this country is bad. But it is what it is. People of the country want it to be like this. They don't want it to be better, right? They don't want Islam. They don't want the paradise of Muhammad. They don't want it. Stop forcing it. That's the issue. It's not necessarily the fact that obviously Christian values and everything about it is better than backwards ideologies. We already know that. But you are changing not just the face of the country, but the soul of the country. And the same applies to most of the Western European countries in general. Buster says they want to be power. They want power to get at the nuclear weapons. Don't think they will know how to open it or use the code. Desmond says, don't try the waxing, it hurts. Someone told me. Was that you? Someone told. I'm not here to get groomed, by the way. This is the whole weekend, well, evening until tomorrow. Swimming pool, a lot of food. That's basically what's happening here. I'm not getting my nails done or waxing for some reason. Still got a few months to go to the wedding. Ivan says they will be playing the call to prayer from the Elizabeth Tower next if it goes. Well, no, I can predict it right now. Give it about 30 years, 25 years to 30 years. Oh yeah, you could easily have it from the Elizabeth Tower, the home of Big Ben. Cara Grace says, congratulations, you two. Try to put the world behind you. Buy yourselves a drink and just have a fab time. Let's just say I didn't have lunch, so I could actually be naughty and have a lot of dinner. So later tonight, if I have to do a breaking news live stream for you guys, I'm going to be struggling. So I'm going to need you guys to help me. You guys carry the show. I'll just sit here and just read the comments. That'll be easy, right? Ivan says, all the Pakistani MPs show you don't need brains to be a British MP. For God's sake. For the record, there are also some smart people from Pakistan. They're just not here because they're trying to actually do things in their own country. Oh dear. Bangladesh is also Pakistan East. Don't tell them that. You're going to start the fight again. So 76% is from Pakistan. And it is amazing how the UK loves a country that even Islamic countries don't like. That is a very good point, by the way. Like what is it? The ugly ducklings of the Middle East and Asia in general, and the Islamic world. We seem to be closer to the Pakistani side than even the Indian side. Let's not forget, we have to be very closer, much closer to the Indian side because of everything that's been happening, firstly over the last few centuries, but the last few decades. The loyalty coming from the Commonwealth members in India, the support that they give to Britain, let's not forget. There's a lot of good people from India, a lot of good Hindus out there, both in India and those who come to trade in the UK and go. You have to make sure you prioritize the relationship with India instead of Pakistan. But apparently that's not the priority. Mosh Cohen says, I grew up on an English culture, freedom, humour, politeness and fairness. I've been in England once, 3-1 Man U, United Liverpool, in 2015. That was a good game. And it was already too much. Oh yeah, no, by that point it had fallen already. RG says they do in Europe the same as in the US. Control the education, control the future. Example, the new Ofsted chair, Mufti Hamid Patel. Oh, Sir Hamid Patel. Islam in your classrooms. God help us all, guys. Hoffman said, hi everyone, keep going, no surrender regardless. We can try. Thank you, Mr. Singh. Aaron says, at some point, Guy Fawkes 2.0 will need to succeed. That's terrorism. We're not going to encourage terrorism. That's not a good idea. We'll see. Totalitarian says that this is what happens when you normalize and glorify Islam and let them in our country. Therefore, why let the Islamic Muslims in our country in the first place? Why not? If there's because there's a massive loyalty from the Pakistani side, Bangladeshi side when it comes to their own flags. The ones who live in the UK. If you still love your flag, then why are you here? Go rebuild the country. I don't understand the concept. If you hated it that you had to leave, what is the loyalty? Who do they back in cricket between England and Pakistan? That's a fair question. Daylight says, once Islam is in any sort of government, it's over. KC should be forced to resign by the British people. Let's not forget, if the Islamic ideology is in constitutions and legislation in Western countries, it's over, but for the governments themselves, because they're not very good at running governments. Economically, Islam is not that smart. Culturally, it's very regressive, and the whole country will go bankrupt. So it's also not going to be sustainable. It's not going to be a superpower. There was also a reason that the Islamic Empire didn't last that long. I mean, it still lasted long enough, let's just say, but it was never going to be sustainable. Natalie from Canada says the infiltration of the IRGC is sickening. Their century-long plan is finally coming to fruition. Yeah, they started in '79. Wake up, people. Come assholes. Love that. I'm going to steal that. And all the IRGC members and proxies must be deported. Absolutely spot on. And Natasha says, what on God's earth did our grandparents and parents fight for our country for? As a daughter of military parents, they are so pissed off. Yeah. The thing is that every generation you're going to have new battles anyway for any country, and it's natural. But usually it tends to take a while for people to wake up. It's not really just about the Prime Minister, for example, or political parties, whether it's the Tories or Reform or Labour, for them to wake up, because they're still not waking up, apart from Robert Jenrick, for example, and Rupert Lowe. But there's a couple of more, by the way. But the issue we have is that the rest of society needs to wake up. The conversation must start. You guys might think that everybody is on the same page. They're not. A lot of people are still burying their heads in the sand. And that, again, applies to all countries, from Australia to Canada. Actually, speaking of Australia, we've got Annie. Thank you for your super chat, saying it just back from our travels and daughter's wedding. Congratulations. Looking forward to yours now. Should we do a live stream? Are we allowed to do a live stream? No. She said maybe. I'm going to convince her to do a live stream. If we charge you guys £5 per person to watch the live stream, that could pay for the wedding. £5 is worth it. Come on. You watch William and Kate. Why not watch me? Oh yeah, they don't have to pay. Yeah, it's BBC. BBC was free. Damn it. Anyway, Also, the ego on this guy. Congrats to you and Danielle. Keep up the great work and truth-telling to see. Thank you so much. This escalated fast. Anyway, Matthew says, should atheists like me go to church? No. No one's going to force you. I recognize Christianity as the foundation of England and must be supported. Or is it that hypocritical? No, because actually, one of the proactive anti-theists, Richard Dawkins, has come out over the last few years to actually say, despite my own views about the higher power, I would still prefer to live in a Christian country. So I'll be fighting for the cultural values of Christianity. So if you have someone like him, then, you don't have, no one's going to put a gun to your head, say you have to convert to Christianity, but you can still defend the values, because it goes beyond everything that's been happening over the last 2,000 years or so. Everything, the evolution of the rule of law, the justice system, even the tolerance, I hate that word, the tolerance that the liberals love to use. All this stuff, where do you think came from? Do you think it came from Mecca? Do you think Mo did it? Mo didn't do it. There was no tolerance. Thank you for another super chat. And a coffee house dialogue says, what use is a king that does not defend the Christian faith? A modern king, apparently. Oust him, that will be also treason, and find a new king. The thing is, it's not president, you can't really just get rid of him. And no more NATO, because of Erdogan. Yes. Can we just get rid of Erdogan from NATO? Then we could talk about reforming NATO. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm going to go have dinner. Yay! Anniversary is here, finally, and I'm starving. I didn't have lunch. So I might come back later if there's any breaking news. Otherwise, let me know what happens. You're my news now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.